Hello and welcome to the Reading Entertainment Podcast, episode 388 for what's the date today? February 26, 2023. My name is Nathan Reitensbruth, and joining me this week we have Andrew Aroa McFain.
I can't believe we're still alive.
Do you mean the podcast or us in general?
Society as a whole, really.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen some really dumb stuff. And the fact that we've made it this far is quite amazing. So, anyway, welcome, Aroa. We don't have Connor here yet. He said he's about 10 minutes away. I don't know if he's planning on hopping in later or if it's just going to be us. However, I would like to ask Aroa, what games have you played this week? No, where can I find you? I forget. I missed it. I was like, wait a minute. So, where can we find you? First off.
I go to Aroa.website. That's my self-made link tree.
Have you updated the theme song at all?
No.
Okay. So when you go in there, you click on an accept button, and that accept button
with the screen.
Yeah, that accept button is also the play button for Megalovania. Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, what were you going to point out? Were you going to point out our hit podcast, Clinton's Core Classics?
Yeah, and also the Reading Entertainment's on there.
Oh, so, I got bumped up. I'm moving up in the world.
Yeah, you exist now.
Oh, good.
Isn't that great?
That's what you should do, is just make it so that when they press the play button, it automatically plays an episode of the Reading Entertainment podcast.
Then no one would ever go there. Even fewer than 0.
You're like, how did I get negative viewers?
Actually, you say that. I can actually check. Give me like 2 seconds. My website has gotten 131,000 views.
How the fudge did that? How many hackers are trying to DDoS you?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand.
That is very strange. Very strange indeed.
Yeah, I average somewhere around 70 views a day.
Man, if only your Twitch did that.
Yeah, I know, right?
If only my Twitch did that.
Yeah. Did you go there, do that? What else is there?
That's
what else do I do? That's it.
You're on Mastodon?
Well, yeah, it's a miskey, but same thing.
I see you on Twitter every once in a while going like, what the fuck is wrong with people? And then you just don't tweet for like a month.
Yeah. I go on there every like few weeks or so, and I go, wow, this place still sucks.
It really does.
Same thing that I do with Facebook.
Yep. I need to just cancel my Twitter account, but I can't do it. I'm addicted. And I
think it's useful for very particular things. Like I will use Twitter to see if is this website broken or is it just me?
That is one thing that I thought was hilarious when I worked at Facebook. Because I knew that Facebook was broken before everyone else. So it's dumb the way they do it, by the way. They should have separate internal and external web pages. They shouldn't be linked together. So that way, if internal Facebook goes down, external Facebook is still up and vice versa. Like they should have some fall over there, but they're all connected. So I would go to use an internal site to reset somebody's password or get a certificate or something, and it wouldn't load. And then I would go to Twitter and wait 5 minutes and then just see all the tweets coming in about Facebook being down. It was kind of hilarious, like how fast that would happen. Anyway, that's something that Twitter's useful for. Also, one thing, while they have a lot of craziness going on there, it's also pretty good for looking at different things that are going on, like, okay, what's happening here, or like news updates and stuff. So that's always nice. Anyway, that's everything. That's everything we got for that. Nathan Reeton Spruth, you can find everywhere at Reeton. So Twitter at Reeton and Twitch at Reeton are the big ones. Go to twitch.tv/Reeton and press the subscribe button. I think it's there. No, the follow button there. Subscribe as you pay me money, so you don't have to do that part. And I'm on there Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time to 9 p.m. Pacific time. However, I will not be there Wednesday or Thursday of next week because I will be traveling for work, and I'm assuming the internet at the hotel I'm going to be staying at will not have good enough internet for me to stream. Also, I haven't tried streaming from my Steam Deck, so I don't know how that would work.
Not well.
Have you tried?
I've tried using OBS on it, and it don't work very well.
What were you trying to play? I would think that maybe some really simple games might be easy.
You could probably get away with like something pretty basic, but you don't get access to the hardware encoder. So, or at least you didn't whenever I was trying to mess with it. So you got to deal with software encoding, and that's just going to eat your whole CPU.
Yeah, software encoding's okay if you have a dedicated CPU or it's a really not intensive game and you're running it like the very fast encoder. I wonder
you're doing it like how I'm doing it on my home server, where I literally have 32 cores to deal with.
Yeah, I only have 8 cores, 16 thread. I have a Ryzen 7 1700. I did find out last night, not that anybody cares, but I did find out that I thought my motherboard would not support all the new processors, but apparently I looked it up and it can support up to the 5700. And I was like, I know it's only 8 core. I know it's only 8 core 16 thread still, but the generational improvements from Ryzen 1700 to 5700 or even the 4700 would probably be so vast that it would improve performance quite a bit. But
yeah, it would.
That being said, I could get a 4700G for like $150 on eBay. Anywho,
does that mean it has an integrated graphics?
Yes, it does.
Huh, that'd be handy.
Yeah, so I've thought about it. I might do it because I have a problem. I have many problems.
Those have lower clock rates though.
I still think it goes up to like 4.1 or something like that. So I don't think for what I would be using it for, it would really matter.
True.
It would matter more for if I was gaming or something, but I'm not. I'm not going to be gaming on it. Anywho, what games have you played this week? Let's go through this pretty quickly.
Well, as you know, I've been playing World of Warcraft.
Oh, how's that going?
I've been getting into PvP and having a pretty good time with that, actually. So that's been kind of cool. And also I've continued in Pizza Tower. That game is fucking amazing. And seriously, if you liked Wario Land 3 or 4, for the love of God, play Pizza Tower. It's so fucking good. Every time, like I messaged my friend, I was like, every time I think that like I know what this game is going to be from that point on, it throws a new mechanic in, and it catches me off guard, and I love it. It's in a world where like every fucking big mainstream game sets up the entire gameplay loop within the first 30 minutes and nothing new or exciting ever happens. It's so great to have the feeling that you got like back with like Super Mario World, where you enter a level and that level has a gimmick and it's cool and it's fun and then it's gone. Like it's so great to have that. and while also having really tight core controls and a really satisfying gameplay loop. Just I love that game.
Well, I'm happy.
So-
I've never played Wario Land.
Really?
And by that, I mean any of them.
Wow.
So
You,
I never had a Game
I-
Boy when I was a kid.
oh, I
Yeah.
wouldn't play Wario Land 3 unless you like really are in the mood for more of a puzzle platformer, because that is just a straight up puzzle game.
Yeah.
The Wario Land 4 is just a perfectly solid platformer.
Good.
I also played some VR stuff because I'm trying to do something that involves standing up. But one of the things I played was a demo for a game called I don't know if it's supposed to be pronounced Vrekken or VR Ekken. It's a play off of Tekken because it's supposed to be a fighting game, I think, in VR. But it just felt like a joke. I went into it thinking, okay, this will probably be rough. But I'm pretty sure that it's just default assets all over the place. And like somebody dropped in very basic like hit detection logic onto some default NPCs and called it a demo for a video game. Because it's just like you punch a guy twice, he falls on the ground, and then you can pick up the ragdoll and like throw him across the room. And like the level that it gives you is like a subway, and you can throw them across the tracks, and then they can't pathfind back to you, but also you're trapped on your side of the tracks, so then you're soft locked.
Oh, interesting.
Fantastic experience. I'm glad that I wasted 4 minutes on that.
Yeah, I'm sure that was great. Wasting all that
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
So, those are the only games you played?
I mean, I played some other random VR stuff. Blade and Sorcery's getting updated still pretty consistently. They're about to come out with the update 12, and that's going to be cool as shit. They're really getting close to a 1.0 release, and I think that shit's going to be hype as hell.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move on to me. I played Overwatch 2 on Monday with some friends. Yeah, it's fine. Then on Tuesday, I had to work like 4 hours of overtime because everything broke. Everything broke. We were migrating some stuff, and everyone's like, "Hey, nothing is working," and I'm like, "Great, I can't fix any of it." But because of that, we're closing down one of our buildings, and my manager and system admin were supposed to go and grab all the servers out of there. But the system admin worked until 3 a.m. the night before trying to fix stuff, and then was back online at 6 a.m. trying to fix stuff. And so my manager said, no, I'm not going to have the system admin come in and pull out some servers, so we'll just go down there and we'll do it. They're all offline anyway. And so my coworker, manager, and I went down and pulled out some servers, so I wasn't able to stream. But then on Wednesday and Thursday, I played Persona 3 Portable. That's a good game, and I am over-leveled because that's what I do in games. And then on Friday, I played apparently a very controversial game, Atomic Heart, which is included with Game Pass. Have you heard any of the controversy along with Atomic Heart? Basically, it's made by a Russian developer, and it seems like oligarchs might have given money to the company, like Russian oligarchs.
I haven't heard any real details. All that I know of is that, I think the dev studio is like based in Russia. They have employees globally, including some in Ukraine, from my understanding. I also know that people are upset because the developers didn't just outright condemn the war in Ukraine. like to point out that if you live in Russia, they do not have freedom of speech.
Yeah.
So, that's
Yeah.
probably why they just say, "We love peace. Peace is great. Please don't kill us."
Please don't get crackly.
No, sorry,
It's okay.
but
It's all right.
yeah, that they need to. Twitter, that is, needs to calm the fuck down. There's also some stuff about how like the sex robots are supposedly based on some kind of Ukrainian something or other, some like important person in history or something, like some monarch, or I don't know.
I see.
I again think that there's a very huge likelihood that these are people misinterpreting art. I don't really know, but
yeah, I didn't like. Obviously, it's based on like if the Soviet Union had won the Cold War, and not only that, but also like had some technological advances that made life way easier for people in the Soviet Union. But it I don't know, a lot of people, there were a lot of negative reviews, and I don't know if that stems from the game being bad or if it stems from the game being mediocre and then also the whole Russia thing.
I really think that it's people review bombing the game, at least from what I've seen. It looks like the game is very, very silly and wacky more than anything.
It is, and some of the dialogue is pretty cringe.
Oh yeah, I saw a clip from somebody where it's like two characters having an argument, and then all of a sudden a robot busts in and then destroys everything in the room with a laser coming out of its face, and I'm like, okay, this is just silly.
Yeah, and the game is like one thing I have to say about the game is very pretty. It's a good looking game. Some of the combat isn't, people are comparing it to BioShock because you have some similar abilities, and obviously it's not as good as BioShock, and the combat isn't even as good as BioShock. I found that there was one thing that I have a problem with, and that was dodging with the B button. And I know that like with Dark Souls and stuff, right, you tend to dodge with the B button. So that's probably why they were just like, okay, let's make it B. But the last first-person shooter I played with the dodge button was Dying Light 2. And the dodge button in that, I believe, is right bumper. I could be wrong, but that's like my muscle memory. Whenever I would have to dodge, I would press the right bumper button like half the time.
I don't really remember, but I would say that makes more sense in the case of a first-person game where camera control is paramount.
Yeah, so I died a couple of times because of that, because I pressed the wrong button to dodge, and it was pretty good. I mean, I didn't hate the game. I found there was one time where I had to collect an item and I missed the item the first time through, so I had to like spend another 15 minutes like backtracking to grab the item so that I could put it in the slot, which was really annoying. But that was my fault for missing the item the first time. Yeah, but it's fine. It's fine. It's included with Game Pass, so I played it. I do have like, I don't know. I have a friend / follower on Twitch, and I don't mind, people making jokes and being negative or whatnot with jokes, but when they base their entire personality around it, it gets kind of annoying. To where they're just like always making negative comments in the stream.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah, and I'm just like, how about you shut the fuck up? Just stop it. Anyway, we're going to move on. We're going to talk about some news stories because we do have quite a bit to talk about this week. First things first is SpaceX. Have you heard about this Starlink thing, Aroa? Have you heard anything about Starlink?
Have we ever talked about that before?
I don't know.
Kind of familiar.
I don't know. It's a new thing. I don't know. So, SpaceX and their side company, I guess, Starlink, is offering a new plan for $200 a month. Plus, you have to pay $600 for hardware. But it offers global roaming. So you could take your Starlink adapter anywhere you want with you and get Starlink internet anywhere in the world that I assume also has Starlink. So not North Korea.
Makes it work how it fucking should in the first place.
Yeah, but you have to pay 200. You have to pay, what is that? 120 a month for the base plan now. 150 for the RV one, which is just basically you can drive around the United States with it, and then $200 a month for global roaming. And yeah, that seems like a lot of money. But honestly, if you are that type of person who is going to be traveling and for some reason you have your Starlink with you, it kind of makes sense. It's not the worst like pricing in that I have heard of for an internet service.
Considering your next best bet is cell phone internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but to be fair, for cell phone internet, I have my Google Fi, and that works in like 180 different countries, and it's all included in the base price. And it's not $200 a month.
It's presumably not going to be as fast, and you're still going to have dead spots.
That's true. And most likely you're going to have dead spots with Starlink too, but they'd probably be fewer. So I don't know.
Well, it should be.
It seems neat, but when I first heard about Starlink, I thought it was a good idea. I still think it's not a bad idea, but
someone else needs to do it.
Someone else needs to do it, and the speeds are not what I would want. I mean, they would be fine. I guess they're 100 megs down, 100 to 200 megs. It ends up being like 100, 200 megs down, which is fine if you're trying to watch movies online and access email and stuff. That's fine. The latency is actually pretty good, so you can still play games. But the problem I've seen is if you are playing games, while it's switching between satellites, there'll be a hiccup. And so it's fine for movies because it buffers a certain amount, or on YouTube where it buffers a certain amount. But with a video game where you need that real-time interaction, every hour or so when it switches to a different satellite, it'll cause a hiccup, and then you may die in that situation. Same thing with streaming. If you're trying to stream a game or something online, your upload isn't great, and your upload will cut out while you're streaming, and so you'll be down for about 10 to 20 seconds before it comes back up, which you can alleviate some by enabling some features. I believe OBS has it. I know that XSplit has it where you can kind of buffer the stream. You can have like a 20-second buffer, so that way, people are going to be replying to things that happened 30 seconds ago, but then if something like your internet drops for a few seconds, it won't mess up the stream.
I don't think it works that way.
Oh, it doesn't? I thought they had that.
That
I know there's a delay thing.
That buffer thing just delays before it actually like sends it out to the streaming company.
Oh, okay.
Like to Twitch or whatever. But if you lose internet connection, it's just gonna cut that off for a minute.
Oh, okay. Well, that sucks.
That's mainly that function is mainly to prevent like people stream sniping.
Well, I was thinking they have a buffer rather than a delay. So there's always been a delay feature in XSplit and OBS. But I thought there was also a buffer to kind of alleviate the network outages. But I could be wrong.
I could also be wrong. I'm not sure anymore.
So, we will find that out at some point in our lives. I assume that he's going to look that up because he's curious. But we're going to move on to the next story, which is Microsoft's Family Pass for Game Pass. And it's not available in the United States yet, but they have expanded it to 6 more countries. Chile, Hungary, Israel, New Zealand, South Africa, and Sweden can now sign up for a membership that allows up to 5 friends and family members in the same country to access Game Pass Ultimate features via a single subscription.
They must be wondering like how much this is going to cut into their bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they did. They tend to do rollouts for these things in these specific countries for some reason. Netflix did it too with the password sharing thing. For some reason, it was like Chile was the first one. It's always Chile. They're like, we're going to test it out in Chile because only 17 people live there.
Yeah, like it's got to be that they have fewer subscribers and or fewer like consumer protection laws.
That's possible. That is also possible. The consumer protection laws, but I think it might also be like maybe there are a certain amount of subscribers there that are representative, and it's a smaller subscribe base in that particular country, so they can look at it, and even if they lose money, they're not losing that much money because they're going for these smaller countries.
Yeah, then they can just go back on it if they feel the need to.
Yeah, I am excited.
At least I assume in Chile.
I am excited for the Xbox Game Pass family plan because, I mean, I have friends with Game Pass and we could all just kind of join up and pay $25 a month is what it seems to be. All the countries that it's been put into so far have been about $25 per month, which ends up being about $5 per person, which is pretty good. Do you still have Game Pass?
I will cancel it and then renew it every once in a while. I did renew it at the beginning of the month for Hi-Fi Rush, which I still have yet to play, as well as a couple other things, Atomic Heart being one of them. I'm probably going to check that out later on today, maybe. But yeah, it's definitely a good. It's fantastic value. We know that because people aren't buying games because they're subscribed to Game Pass. We talked about that last week.
That's me. That's me. I
yeah.
If I hear a game's coming for Game Pass, I'm like, great. I don't have to pay for it. I mean, it's already paid for. Like and I know that their reason, the way that they want to have it set up, is that you pay for Game Pass and then you never play any games. That's what they want. And I ruined that. I completely ruined their idea for making a profit off of it because I play so many games from Game Pass.
I do wonder if, well, have they said whether or not they make a profit off of it? I don't remember.
I think I think in court they are trying to argue that it's not making a profit.
Interesting. Because I was thinking that it could work like how YouTube does YouTube Premium or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
Where it's the total subscription dollar amount gets thrown into a bucket. YouTube takes a cut of that, and then the rest of it is dispersed between all YouTube videos that get watched based on like watch time or whatever metric that they decide to use that month.
I think that is kind of how it works, but I also know that Game Pass, like Xbox will pay a certain amount to the developer to have it as a day one release.
Yeah, they'll pay up front, but like I would imagine that if they want to make it profitable, they'll end up changing the business model at some point. But I'm sure that they don't ultimately really care. They just want people to be on the Xbox side of things, whether that be Windows or console.
Yeah. I will probably, once this comes out to the United States, if it is $25 a month, I'll probably get the family pass and then have like you and Durga on it. So that way we can all have you play games. And that would help out because I'm part of your family for YouTube, and then you can be part of my family for Game Pass. It'll be even. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, and even like I'm kind of in the situation where if I wanted to, like I'm in the perfect spot. I could pay for the subscription and then share it with my wife and her 3 siblings.
Oh yeah,
and then we all have Game Pass.
I wonder if they are able to get Activision Blizzard and they are able to roll up World of Warcraft, so the subscription fee is removed, but if you pay for Game Pass, you get subscribed to World of Warcraft. That would save you guys money because you're all paying $15 a month.
Yeah, that'd be pretty wild. And I've been trying to get them to get on Game Pass for years because it's just such a good fucking deal, and they have a lot of cool games that are multiplayer. It's just everyone's got to have Game Pass, or you got to buy the fucking game, and like no one wants to buy a $30 game
when you can get it for
whenever you can get it for 10.
I have a friend who does not have Game Pass, I don't think, and they will just buy. They're like, "Oh, I just bought it on Steam," and I'm like, "Why?" It's included with Game Pass.
That is the better way. Like, you should just buy the game.
That's true.
But it's like, from a consumer perspective, why would you?
The only one that I can think of is if you want to play that game specifically on your Steam Deck. And you don't want to go through the rigmarole of getting Game Pass set up, because you can't play games from Game Pass on your Steam Deck unless you go through the cloud.
Yeah, or you install it. You have to install Windows on your Steam Deck.
Yeah, so I understand, like, if there's a game like Persona 3 Portable, right? That's a perfect game to play on the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
It's gonna run great, and you could just buy it for $20 on Steam.
Yeah, or you could do the right thing and download the ROM and play it that way. Yeah, you download FES and you get the upscaled texture mod, and you play it that way.
But I think that's missing some of the characters and storyline, right? Like, you can't play as a female in FES.
That no one cares.
There are some people who care.
Literally, no one cares about the female protagonist. It only changes like 5 lines of dialogue.
Probably.
And like lets you date the underage boy.
Yes. And wait, what?
Yeah.
The Ken?
Yes.
Japan's weird, man.
Yes, it is.
But anyway, we're going to move on to our last story. This is a big one. Did you watch this event? I watched some of it.
I skimmed through some stuff, looking at like the trailers for all the VR games and stuff like that. Some of it seemed okay. Street Fighter 6 actually looks really good, even though I know I'm not going to play it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I might. I have a friend. Again, I have a friend who really likes Street Fighter, so I might pick it up.
Male jiggle physics.
Oh yeah, and they're doing like $1 million tournament for Street Fighter 6. So I think if we play the game for like a week, we'll be good enough to compete in that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That's it. That's all it takes. I'm not great at Street Fighter. I'm okay.
I'm terrible at fighting games.
Is it the reaction time, or do you just not remember the button combos?
Or yes? Anything. Yeah, it's that. Yes, like I cannot react to something with a series of inputs. Like that's not how my brain works.
Interesting. But you can react to stuff on Rock Band and Guitar Hero.
Yes.
Which is
reacting
to things based on a series of inputs.
Yep. Well, it sort of, it's different. My brain just not wired for fighting game.
Yeah, I remember I had some friends who really liked Guilty Gear back in the day. And they're like, "Oh yeah, look at this combo." And I'm just like, "Nope. That's 47 button inputs. That's what that is."
Yeah, my brother's really into Guilty Gear, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll try out Strive." And I played through the tutorial, most of the tutorial for Strive, and I was like, I'm only like a little over halfway through, and it's like, okay, now it's time to learn a basic sideways combo. First you do this, and then you do this, and then you do this, and then jump, and then do this, and then and it's like, this is still just the basic mechanics I don't fucking understand. And then I messaged him and was like, so Strived is like super complicated? Like, is that just what Guilty Gear is? And he was like, oh no, they dumbed it down for Strive. And I'm like, how? How is it dumbed down?
Yep,
So,
man, they made it easier.
I've decided to just let other people play fighting games. I casually tried DOA for a little while, and that was fun. But I'm done.
I was pretty good at DOA 3 on like the original Xbox. Anyway, we are going to be talking about the Sony's State of Play for 2023, the first one so far. They did a lot of VR stuff. Apparently there's one called Before Your Eyes, and it looks not great.
No.
I don't know what it is. It says here that it's a decent block of folks who picked up the VR2 headset and are looking for some new games to play, but I'd like to draw special attention to Before Your Eyes, a captivating game that was playable through webcams already, apparently.
Looks like shit.
And will likely be
Just gonna put it out there.
Emotional and special VR on the VR2 headset.
I don't care.
It looks bad. It looks like a life sim.
No, it's not even that. It's a fucking VR visual novel. But the worst kind of visual novel, where it's just a series of slightly interactive scenes that play out in front of you in VR. I hate everything that is that. It's fine that it exists, but I don't want this. I don't care about this. No one but people who are up their own ass. And I'm gonna be honest here. A lot of it is the art style. I fucking hate this art style. I hate characters that have giant orange noses. I hate that shit. It's lazy. It looks stupid and ugly.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. They like go for a weird like low polygon style, and I'm not a huge fan of it. They also talked about Destiny 2, which is apparently getting a new expansion, and it'll be more Destiny 2, I guess.
Wow.
Which is shooting, lots of shooting.
That's great.
They
Green
did not.
Hell VR is getting a PlayStation port.
They have not. I just want to say they have not brought back in Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, no. They haven't brought him back yet, unfortunately.
No. The wizard's still on the moon.
Yeah. What is Green Hell VR?
Green Hell VR is a survival game where you're in the jungle in like the Amazon rainforest or something. I played the demo for Green Hell VR on PC, and it ran like hot garbage.
Oh, good.
It barely functioned properly in VR. It was just an overall clunky and unsatisfying experience. I know someone who likes plain Green Hell, like just the normal survival game, but in VR it's terrible. Just play The Forest, which it's hopefully Sons of the Forest will add VR support at some point later on. There was also the Foglands, which actually looks kind of neat. It's just like a rail shooter more or less, but there's like card game stuff as part of it, because that's just a thing you do now. You take a game genre and then you add card game elements to it. I don't know what Synapse is. I didn't watch that. No, that's
Synapse or Synapse?
Synapse.
Synapse. Okay.
That is a part of the brain.
Oh, okay. So, the one I wanted to talk about was Humanity, where you play a Shiba Inu.
Oh yeah.
And you guide. It says you lead flocks of humankind through strange levels. They don't include a trailer. There is a trailer, but they don't include one with this story that we are looking at from Destructoid. But
there's a link
Yeah.
to the article dedicated to it. It looks like Lemmings.
Yeah. But you're playing as a cute little dog.
Yeah, it looks like a fun little puzzler.
And then they also released, we're just skipping through some of these. We don't care about all of them. There's a Naruto collection coming out. Ultimate Ninja Storm collection. Naruto
No.
and Boruto
No,
Ultimate Ninja
no,
Storm
those
Connections.
are N's. Those are N's, not L's.
Naruto? I didn't say
No,
Naruto.
You said collection.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was just reading through the story. But yes, Connections. I said Connections right
No,
before
you
you
didn't.
said it. Right before you said that.
No,
Yes.
no, you didn't. You
Yes,
said
I was
looks
reading
like there's
through-
a Naruto
No,
collection coming out.
I did say that, but then I was reading through Naruto and Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections, and you interrupted me.
You finally said the right word after all that.
Which I don't know. It's more Naruto games. This is
It's
like,
Ultimate Ninja Storm. Wow, it's the same game that it's been since PS2.
I like Street Fighter and Tekken, and DOA, like the side, 2D fighters. I am not a huge fan of 3D fighters for some reason, where they're like specifically fighting games, and that's kind of what this is. And I don't know, I just never feel like I'm in 100% control of my character because the movement's always awkward, even in the Dragon Ball games. And do you like any of the Naruto and Boruto games?
I don't like Naruto.
Oh, why not?
Believe it.
Why don't you like Naruto? I've never seen an episode.
Because I'm not 12 years old.
One game I do like is the Baldur's Gate series. I like Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, and they also have Baldur's Gate 3 on the PC. Kinda, I think it's still in early access, but they are releasing it on PlayStation 5.
Yeah. It's the full release coming out August 31st, simultaneously with the PC and Mac full releases.
Exactly. And confirmed cross progression. Also, J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons is voicing one of the big bads in the game.
I don't know who that is.
He is Jake. He's the Cave Johnson.
Oh, okay.
He's Cave Johnson. He's I can't remember the JJ in Spider-Man games. Or I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
Jameson.
Yeah, J. Jonah Jameson. There we go.
I want pictures of Spider-Man.
Exactly. Street Fighter 6 we already spoke about. They spotlit 3 different characters. They also, we heard some more about the Resident Evil 4 remake, showing off more gameplay footage. Did you see any of this? Because I did not.
I knew that it was there. I don't care.
Okay. I thought you liked the Resident Evil games.
I do. I'm a little salty about not having VR mode for Resident Evil 8 on PC yet, because they're locking it to console again.
It's the same thing with 7, right? They locked that to console.
Except they never released that on PC. I'm hoping that with 8 they will eventually put it on PC, since like Sony's kind of loosened up on the whole like console exclusivity thing, and they're just kind of putting everything on PC eventually, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm a little salty about that. I'm a little salty about Resident Evil 4 VR still being Quest exclusive. So
there's got to be a way to hack that, right? Where you can play Quest games on your Vive.
It's an Android executable. So like you'd have to essentially break the executable and port all of that ARM code to x86. Like there's no way that it's going to work anywhere near as well as it needs to while also running in VR.
Interesting. And then the last game they showed off was Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. And
I've seen a lot on this.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like this.
It looks like shit.
Even a little bit. It it's funny because they came out with the Marvel Avengers game. I mean, obviously not this isn't the same team hasn't, but just in general, the industry has come out with the Marvel Avengers game, and then they came out with Gotham Knights, and they were basically the same thing. Just I think Avengers was worse, but Gotham Knights was pretty bad as well.
It was another like half-baked wannabe RPG live service bullshit thing that locked progression behind mindless grinding and arbitrary stats that don't make any sense.
And then they're like, you know what we should do? We should do that again. And they're coming out with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. And before this trailer came out, I had heard some people on YouTube were like, maybe they're going to get it right this time. And then this trailer came out. The trailer came out and they're like, we're not getting this right.
It's the same fucking thing.
It's going to be.
Except, like, also, every character can fly for no apparent reason.
I saw that too. Like everyone's like has a jetpack.
like I'm just watching this trailer now, and it's like one character has a jetpack. The other characters who don't have jetpacks just like they look like they control like Crackdown characters for some reason. Like I didn't watch Suicide Squad, but I doubt that this Sharkman guy is just literally the Incredible Hulk. That doesn't really make sense to me. It looks like he's the Incredible Hulk, but with a gun.
I also doubt that they're going to have John Cena in the game.
That is unlikely.
Yeah.
Was he in the movie?
Yeah, he's Peacemaker.
I don't know who that is.
He's one of the Suicide Squad.
I mean,
that's all I know.
I don't know. Like they get Harley is Spider-Man. It would seem because she's got a grappling hook that can just hook onto nothing. This is dumb. This is stupid. Why do so many things have the same fucking weak point of a big purple ball?
Yeah,
it sucks because it looks really cool, like visually. But
yeah, it's just it doesn't. I don't think it's
bring joy.
No, I don't think it's gonna be great, and it's so weird that we have such.
Oh, that man would be dead.
We have some really good superhero games. We have the Batman Arkham games, right? Like they kind of fell off with a couple of the Arkham games, but they're still all pretty good.
Arkham Knight was a sign of things to come. I think it was Arkham Knight, right? Or was it Gotham Knight?
Arkham Knight.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But like that was like I don't know, this is kind of rough. I think they're out of ideas. And then
put a car in there.
Yeah, they were like, put a car in. Whenever he hits people, it doesn't kill him because it shocks them instead. Like, okay.
And Spider-Man, right, was amazing. The
Spider-Man games are supposedly great. I haven't played any of them.
I know you don't care for superheroes very much. I'm pretty sure. Not your cup of tea.
I think they're fine. I think the lore is interesting sometimes, but yeah, no, I think they're just overdone now.
Yeah, but so Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales. I think Spider-Man Miles Morales is too expensive for what it is because apparently it's only like an 8-hour game or something like that. But both of those games were pretty great. The first game was, I said it on the podcast when it was out or when it first came out and I played it, was that Spider-Man for the PS4 was the best superhero game ever made. And just hands down, just fantastic. And then they're like, okay, so what we're going to do is not any of that. We're not going to bring any of that charm, and we're going to make these really shitty superhero games and then wonder why we're not making a profit off of any of them. So
I don't get it. I don't get how the same company that made Arkham City and Arkham Asylum, really, but like especially Arkham City has come out to make this. It's just sad.
Yeah.
Because Arkham City is one of the best like games just in general, in my opinion.
It was good. It was really good. Again,
It's fantastic.
I tend to prefer the Spider-Man game, but I like Spider-Man more than Batman, and that might be part of it as well. The only part that I didn't like about Spider-Man was there are like 2 or 3 sections where you play as Mary Jane, like sneaking around
the
some
force
people.
stealth shit. Yeah,
And other than that, it's great. And also, another amazing thing, which isn't included in Avengers, isn't included in Gotham Knights, I don't think, and wasn't included in the Marvel game that I just played, Midnight Suns. You could unlock every costume in the game without buying DLC. Like, you didn't have to buy the costumes in the Spider-Man games or the Batman games.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Imagine that, like being able to unlock shit in the video game that you already paid for instead of having to buy more shit after the fact, after you already spent $70 on your fucking video game.
Now they did have some DLC that included story and a couple new costumes. But you didn't have to buy that. Like, you didn't have to individually buy the costumes, and you got more than just, hey, I'm paying $10 for a costume. Doesn't make sense to me. But they make money off of it, otherwise they wouldn't do it. Right? Like, there are people that buy it, and it obviously is a profit for them. But anyway, that was some of the PlayStation State of Play. Or Sony State of Play. I wasn't really impressed with like any of it, and even though I think I'm the only person that I know that owns a PS5, I will probably not be getting the PSVR 2. I just don't think it's worth it.
No. No. I am glad that it exists. Let me definitely say that. I'm glad that it exists. I do think that it is great that Sony is still backing VR as a platform. But yeah, I don't even have a PS5. So
Get one. And PSVR 2. You got the money.
No.
I know how much money you make.
I don't make it yet.
We'll be back next week We'll be back next week talking about some more news stories. I want to thank you for being here, Aroa.
I was here, I guess.
And we'll be back next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.